Welcome back. I'm your host, Susanna May O'Hagan, and today we'll be talking about Where Are My Children? Now, it says based on a true story. I tried to find anything that was based on this, and there wasn't much. So, I don't know if true story is with a grain of salt here or not. Let's get to it and do it! Where Are My Children? TV movie 1994, 1 hour and 40 minutes. M. Hellenberg starts as a single mother mysteriously arrested by the FBI and separate from her children. Thus begins a 25-year struggle to be reunited with them, based upon a true story. We will read some reviews because there's not much on this. Some reviews. This film is based on a true story, shows a mother's hardship in trying to find her children after they are taken from her in a various suspicious circumstance. The film is quite heartbreaking. I am unsure as to how much of the story is actually about the film shown, how strong the human spirit can be. It also shows the strength of a maternal bond. The judge featured in the film was a cruel and cold-hearted. It indicates the range of people that exists in the world. How she lived with herself after covering up the removal of 3 kids from a clearly loving mother is unknown to me. I really like this film and watched it quite often. So I'm trying to see if I can find any more reviews. Oh yeah, here we go. Nicely filmed and well acted. But hardly believable. We don't know if this is based, what part of this is true and what isn't. I have been trying to find it for hours and I could not. When Vanessa Meyer was falsely arrested, her children were taken into care. When she was released, Vanessa Meyer played Marge Hellenberg. Literally, this movie was so hard to find any information on. So, like, I have maybe this much content, and I'm like, really? I mean, I could tell you the movie from all of it, but let's read this. The ABC Sunday night movies Are My Children. If the creator of the telepic indicate to explore a pressing social issue, they don't succeed. If they meant to tell all-inspiring story about a woman overcoming great misfortune, they left out the inspiring parts. Where Are My Children deals with a mother's worst nightmare, but it's probably too bland to capture a big share. So this might be someone's review. If the creator of the... Okay, we just did that. Marge Hatham stars as a divorcee who is settled in Cape Stake, Georgia, with her 3 young children in 1962. When she's arrested on a petty charge, the judge makes an example of her. After 3 months in an Atlanta jail, she returns to find that her kids have been sold into adoption by a ring headed by a local family court judge. Thus begins the woman's 24-year search for her children and a string of bad luck that would make Job feel fortunate. Though she holds up remarkably well, her efforts aren't really uplifting. Justice is not served, and viewers don't get inside this mother's head or heart. For the audience, a 30-second hug during the periodical happy ending can't make up for the devastating life. Michelle Monter's script is filled with lines like, "I can't believe this, it's like a bad dream." The monitor calls for less restraint, but director George plays it straight and manipulating the audience with tired and shrewd tactics. The villain performances are solid enough, with good character acting leading some necessary flavor. Hellenberg hits most of the right notes without raising above the script. The likable Christopher North stands out as one of her hobbies, with Karen plays a nice guy quietly and effectively. Okay, I'm going to give you what I saw. This mother, I think she got on a Navy ship or boat or plane. They arrested her for it. They made an example out of her. She left her kids with a family friend. Her family friend told her when she got out of jail after 3 months, the kids had been gone because they all had the right documents. She tried to talk to the judge. The judge says, "I've never even heard of your kids." She goes to the school. The school says, "Are you sure the kids went here?" And they did. She goes to everything. They said, "We don't have records of your kids. We don't have records of anything you talk about." The one time she almost gets information, the place burns down. That's right, the place burns down. Thus, eventually she does meet another guy. She has a kid with this guy. This guy was mean to their kids, so she left him. Smart, because that's just what you would do. Then she met another guy while selling dolls at a craft fair. And clothes. Dolls and doll clothes, I think. He wanted to buy a doll, but I really think he liked her. He was the nicest one out of every guy she had seen and talked to. And he even treated the kid like his own. Like, they got married, the kid was treated like his own kid. They were nice to him. They have a son. The mother goes and does activism. I can't pronounce the word because of my learning disability. She becomes an activist. There you go. Whew, took me a minute. And at this benefit that she gets an award from, which is where this movie kind of makes you like, is this part of the story? Does this really need to be in here? Like, it says true, but it's not. All of it's not true. So I'm like, is this part even true? Does this part need to be in here? The kid dies in a car accident. He decides to take his girlfriend to a party. They try to pass the guy. The guy wouldn't pass them, and then a truck collides into them. He passed away. So not only did this mother lose 3 kids, she lost 4. She literally lost 4 kids total. She has been looking for her other 3 kids for years. The son who died heard all about it, knows about it, but she still, like, kept an eye on him, made sure that he, like, she really tried to be protective of her son as much as she could until he turned 18. Anyway, the next part is the fact that she was told by someone that there's this new show called Where's My Children, Where's My Parents, whatever it's called. And it turns out that they could use some of the leads that they had. Turns out one of the places that told her they did not have any records of her children lied to her. And the reason they couldn't tell anyone was because the people were still around and threatened them. Which is a whole nother thing, because that happened a lot. Like, she got threatened. She got kicked out of town. Yeah, I forgot about that part. She got kicked out of town. Like, they threatened her, and she was like, oh, yeah, I can see this. This is not going well. So she left. Anyway, eventually, they get records of her two children. After 24 years, they meet up at the airport. And they instantly recognize each other when they see each other. They knew exactly who she was. She knew who they were when she saw them. The only thing was, they told the children she died. Yeah. So the adoption agency that took them told them that she died and didn't want them. Like she's died. You don't have any family. You're not wanted. So that's kind of why they went along with it. The only thing I really didn't get was the fact that the last child was not allowed to be looked at. They said her documents were classified, which was weird. But apparently, at the end of the movie, it says 4 years later she finally got to see her youngest child. And she got to meet her grandkids eventually, and they all got to meet each other. So she did get to see her kids again eventually. But this is after this woman lost them, went to jail, got married, got divorced because the guy was being very awful to the kid, got married again, lost her son. And it's like, is there, like, that's why people are like, it doesn't have a happy ending. It's very, the only happy part is the ending. Like, most of the movie is just kind of depressing. It does hit you, though. It makes you cry. It really does. Like, I cried instantly at this movie. Because seeing that happen to my daughter, I'd be freaking out, too. And I would act like her if, like, I had another child after my three were taken, and I'm like, where are you? Stay with me. You're not allowed to leave my side. I'm keeping my eyes on you. Anyone misbehaves around you. Like, you start to overly think things. It's not a horrible movie. I give it a 9.5 out of 10. Like, it's not an all-time favorite movie of mine, but it definitely makes you think. Though, I took it down a couple notches because I would have given it a 10 out of 10 if it was more, like, had more, like, happy things and not all sad. But I also couldn't find anything on the true part. So the fact that it says it was based on a true story and I couldn't find a single thing about it made me question if it's 100% or if it's just partly true. Like, they did, like, everything else around, like, a few true facts. I really don't know. But the movie's not horrible. It's definitely a movie that makes you sit there and think, and you're like, what did I just watch? This poor woman